Alright, guys. Have a nice evening. And yeah, it's already way past midnight here in Germany, but let's have another Cities and Knights, shall we? And hope that the players don't quit, because maybe let's try for 3 or 4 players. But yeah, I'm not going to continue if a person quits like in the placement phase already. I don't have patience for that, and I don't want to effectively be playing another 2-player game. But yeah, maybe I can talk to you a little bit what brought me to Cities and Knights in the first place. And the main reason for that is just the strategic variety of it all. Alright, so I'm in third position, which I actually favor in Cities and Knights, opposed to the base game, in which, yeah, I'd rather not be in last position. But in Cities and Knights, it's nice because when you pick 2 spots, you can actually determine which one will be the city. And not only can you pick the one with the most income to be your city, but also you can choose which one yields more development cards than the other, which is really nice. So cities on ore, wood, and sheep yield development cards, and are actually way more valuable than cities on grain or brick. So I have a tough choice to make here, because the points that are left are actually not all that great, and the issue being that by far the best production on the 569 goes with 0 commodities. So I don't really want to have my city there. But on the other hand, well, it's 13 production points. I mean, who can say no to that, right? I just have to try this. Start on the grain port and have a city all on grain. Of course, it's bad that I don't produce any commodities, but on the other hand, my grain production should be that great that it doesn't really matter. I hope so. I mean, this is a trial. I normally don't approve very much of pure port strategies like this one obviously is. But, well, it's not a pure port strategy. I at least do have natural access to wood and brick, which are really important for building roads, obviously. And although very low, I do have access to some sheep, which allows me to build settlements and knights. But yeah, I mainly rely on the port, on the 6 and 9 to row, and to be able to trade 2 grains for whatever I wish. So one of the important early things in this game is to get one city extension for each of the 3 colors. So for paper, cloth, and coins. And it's actually pretty much a question of personal taste, and also, I guess, willingness to risk stuff. How far one is willing to take that. Like, I could trade my 4 grains now away for 1 cloth and 1 paper, which is really nice to have. On the other hand, I'll be giving up 4 grains, which I could also trade for ore and sheep, and the barbarian will be coming. And actually, I'm doing half of it. I'm just doing the paper part. The other one, I'd rather keep my 2 grains in hand in case the barbarian comes really quickly and I'm scared. So I could also trade 2 grains for wood to cut green off to the port, but again, giving up those valuable grains so early on doesn't feel right. And having 1 green extension is actually enough for quite some time, believe it or not. You get a reasonable flow of the important green development cards. So yeah, I wasn't willing enough to take a risk. Maybe I should have to cut him off to that 8-10. But on the other hand, I'm actually quite satisfied with the 9-10. I mean, it yields a lot of production. So now there comes another question. Do I trade my grains for a settlement, which is really useful, or for a knight? Well, the 6 almost answers it, because I can almost do both. So yeah, this seems like an instance of a port strategy actually turning out really well. Because with the settlement, my production of grain increases, which is really important. And as far as the road goes, I want to build on this 9-2 and ideally then on the 9-10-11 also. And let me just trade 2 grains for 1 glove. I'm not yet willing to go all the way, or maybe I should. No, I'm still a little bit anxious about that knight, but on the other hand, the barbarian can't arrive in this turn because we are only 3 players, so it's only 3 turns until it's my turn again, and the barbarian needs to take 4 steps to arrive. So I'm safe on that front. And I really want to do this development as early as possible, because I don't want to miss out on any green or yellow or also blue, but mostly green and yellow cards if a green or yellow symbol rolls together with a 1 or 2. See, there we have one. I don't want that inventor to go to anyone else. I mean, I can't really use it myself because my numbers are actually pretty good already, but I'd rather have it than anybody else have it. Another 6, which always nice. Especially thanks to my grain port. I could build another settlement, but I'm not risking it anymore, obviously. The barbarian's only 2 steps away from arriving, so now we need to be relentless. And this knight could get kicked away by green if green is very mean. But I'm actually willing to take that risk. I don't think green will do it anyway. It doesn't after all benefit green that much. Because green would have to upgrade his knight to a 2 and would have to kick away my knight and of course reactivate his so that he doesn't lose a city, and then he saves my city indirectly anyway. So I can play the inventor, and the question is, do I want to? Yes, I mean having a 5 instead of that 10 is it's good enough progress. I want grain on as many numbers as possible, and 5, 6, and 9 are all great numbers. So I'm really dependent on 5, 6, and 9 now, but I was pretty much entirely before that also. So not really much has changed. And 5, 6, and 9 are really good numbers to be dependent on, you know. Together they roll like 13 times out of 36. So more than 1 in 3 rolls actually is a 5, a 6, or a 9. It's a good thing that the robber doesn't play yet, because I would have surely gotten it. A 4, they get wheat. Yeah, I can't do anything, of course. There's a 5. Which is a nice roll. I really appreciate getting those 2 bricks. I can choose a development card of my choice. Hmm. I will pick a green one, and in general, I wanted to say something about. Oh, it's a victory point, okay. About which color development card to choose when you get a free one. And that obviously more applies in treasure islands where you can discover a development card through a treasure, but it also sort of applies here whenever the barbarian arrives in case of a draw. Um, in general, I would advise you to take blue cards really only if you're clearly in that last with 3 players, or with 4 players if you're like in the bottom half. Then you might consider taking a blue card. Oh, I get a natural sheep. How nice is that? That's really welcoming. I can also take an ore, and I probably should since I'm dead. No one ore, or did I take a brick? No, I get enough brick myself. That's fine. I really need to start getting some ores. But anyway, I'm digressing. I wanted to talk about which development card to pick. In, ge- in general, like I said, pick a blue one only if you're in dead last. With 3 players, with 4 players, you can pick blue one slightly more often. And to decide between the other two, the two, there are many players who just by default always pick green, and I understand it because the the green cards on average are really good. But I would more advise you to look a little bit more closely. If you're in the lead, always pick green. That's my first advice. And my second advice, always pick green in case you are on both ore and wheat tiles. So if you're in the lead, always pick green. If you're on ore and wheat tiles both, always pick green. If not, pick yellow. That's sort of my advice. Why is that? Well, there are there are 2 green cards that are the irrigation and the mining that don't bring you anything if you're not on ore respectively wheat, and that can be really frustrating. So in order to avoid that, I wouldn't pick green in those instances. Uh, but if you're in the lead, that doesn't apply because there's also a yellow card called the Trade Master, which isn't useful when you're in the lead because you can only steal products from a person who has more victory points than you. So let's build another knight. The barbarian's about to arrive. So those would be my advices on picking cards. Blue only if you're in dead last or if you're in the bottom half in a 4-player game. Because in a 4-player game, blue cards are generally a little more valuable than just in a 3-player game. And if you're in the and otherwise, if you're in the lead, always pick green. And if you're in like second place, pick green if you're on both ore and wheat. Otherwise, pick yellow. But I will discuss that probably in a later episode in a Treasure Island setting where those hints are even more applicable. Because it happens way more often that you're actually not on oral wheat in Treasure Island, and also you get to choose a development card way more often because this is one of the possible treasures. So I just built a second knight because I want to see how the others react, basically, to my threat of winning a victory point. I'm not totally keen on getting the victory point. I'm just wanting to provoke a reaction, basically. Oh, he has a monopoly. That's bad. Luckily, I have a spy. Hopefully, you got the medicine also. Damn it. What color is his remaining development card, actually? It's a yellow one. Okay. Could be a nice one. Does he have the trader yet? No, he doesn't. So it's actually unlikely it is a trader, which is something I want to know because I could use a trader very much myself, although now I probably do because he stole my grain. That's an 8. Not particularly useful. I would just yeah. I do play my spy, I think. I think his yellow development card could be something nice. It's another monopoly. Ooh, who guessed? Without those 5s, I could probably monopolize on grain again. Yeah, I got 4 grains. That's really nice because now I can trade 2 of them off for a sheep and build a road and a settlement. And these are very important because finally I get access to natural ore, which I will need in the future because I need to be focused on things now. But this is actually going well according to plan. Oh, I get a diplomat. I can steal the road from somebody. Most probably I will do that from red at some point because he seems like the bigger threat to me at the moment. No, I don't. I'm focusing on city now. I'm not terribly interested in wood and bricks at the moment. And also not in sheep, to be honest. I need to really start collecting ore and grain and trading grain for ore. Just so I can get to my city. He will probably steal from me again, unfortunately. Yes, he does. And this is really bad, because if I now roll a barbarian, I cannot even chase that wobble away because the knight's turn passive. And I don't have a grain myself anymore to activate it. Luckily I rolled a 6, so I get grain. So I can immediately reactivate that knight. And in this case, since I'm in the lead, according to my own advice, always pick green. And in this case, it's also easy because I'm now on both ore and wheat comfortably. So that's really a no-brainer. And it's a nice green card as well, because I've got 2 single knights which I can now both upgrade at some point. I don't think I need to be doing that now, also because nobody has a blue card. That's also important, that nobody has any blue city extensions. So I don't need to worry about somebody getting a spy and stealing my cards. So yeah, I think in each colored deck there are two development cards that are way superior to our others, actually. So in the yellow deck, those are the resource monopoly and also the trader is really strong because it's also a victory point and important towards the end. And those are actually also the two most common cards. But if I may say, the the advantage in yellow cards is not as strong as in the others actually. So let me phrase it another way. The best yellow cards are not as strong as the best cards from the other two colors. So the best two blue cards, and pretty sizably the best, in my opinion, are the turncoat and then the spy. The turncoat allows you to steal somebody's knight and build it on your own. And the spy, allows you to steal a development card from someone, which is also really strong. So those are by far the two best blue cards, I think. When it comes to green cards, the road building is probably the strongest, which allows you to build two free roads. And then in second place, I like the irrigation. There's also an equivalent for ore, which is the mining. But I think the irrigation is stronger simply because there are four wheat tiles and only 3 ore tiles. So your expected gain from the ore tiles actually better. I now do something which I used to do a lot when I get to place the robber, is place it on my own active knight and immediately chase it away. I can do that because I have a stable enough influx of grain. So yeah, my grain income is good enough, obviously. I mean, that grain income is the backbone of my entire strategy. I will now at first build a city wall so I don't 7 out with all those bricks. And then I will also upgrade my knights because I'm a little bit afraid that green might try to attack my knight there. So upgrade his own knight, build a road and chase away mine, and mine has nowhere to go, so I would have to take my knight off the board. I'm not too interested in playing this trading port, which would give me commodities, but I'm not playing on commodities or metropolises, since I obviously don't have any income of commodities. So that really doesn't. It just doesn't yield as much. I should really be focusing on longest roads as my source for victory points and also cities. Which, yeah, I have the right resources for now, roads and cities. And he is already building the metropolis. I was never going to challenge him on that front, but luckily nobody else is even close to getting another metropolis, so there aren't many points left in that regard. It's an 8, that doesn't help me. I need places to settle. Don't have many places left to settle, but yeah, I will activate this line, of course. And a player went missing again. I mean, Catan Universe, I'm seriously considering giving up on you because of that. These players leaving really destroys any fun I have in the game, which is a shame because it's actually pretty well realized, I think, in this game setup, and also for a fairly reasonable price, I guess. But all those players leaving really take the fun out of it tremendously. Is somebody saying something in the chat? Yes, dinner. Yeah, but you should start a game when you have dinner in 20 minutes. Just my honest opinion. People often complain I'm too slow, but it's I actually play on a reasonable speed. I think I'm disabled and use a special mouse, so I'm never competing in like bullet tournaments or something like that. I will never be a speed champion, especially when I talk with you like this. But I think if you want to play a complex game like Cities and Knights, bring at least half an hour of time with you. Or 40 minutes probably more appropriate. So I will reactivate my knights because the Barbarian is about to arrive, and of course I don't want to miss out on that victory point, on everything which get me closer to 13 at this stage. Because yeah, I already have 10 points. I'm pretty keen on just ending it right now. That's a victory point for me. Come to Papa. So that's 11. I only need 2 more points. Well, I'm obviously not going to get it from a metropolis, so in my case, it's building a city and a settlement. And I have my 3 ore already, so no need for another ore. No, I am not interested in commodities at all. That's the thing with commodities. Like, if you don't produce them yourself, it's important you get on 1 in out of the 3 colors, but I wouldn't recommend going any further than that because it just costs too many resources, which you should trade for other stuff. Which also why I built my city here, because I don't want any of those stinking commodities in this game. Only in this particular game I'm referring to, of course. Somebody stole my trader, so I'm back at 11 points. Which is fine, I guess. I'm just aiming for another city. Or for a trader card, of course, or for an instant victory point through a development card. Or just for a settlement, and then let's see. Oh, nice, another 5 gives me more wheat. So now I do need to recall what commodities are actually in play. But the only commodity that's really in play is paper. So let's play it on paper. My mouse just went broke a little bit. Well, that doesn't yet help me, so let me play this one too. Because I want to make one paper extension. That him. Yeah, I produce way too many bricks. Let me offer the bricks. Shall they eat bricks? Oh, I get a second coin. Nice. That's an extension right there, and I can activate both my knights, which is important because I really want to protect this knight from the robber. And my diplomat isn't all that useful yet. Nobody is on the point of challenging my longest vote. If somebody tries, I will of course throw a hatchet in their ranks. But yeah, this would be quite an easy win. So what I wanted to maybe talk. Oh, the trade I would have actually done, but okay. Red has 9 points, but has no potential, I think, to gain points quickly. No longest vote inside. Actually, and actually, Red is an AI, so AIs don't play very well anyway. It is, of course, possible for an AI to win if they're extremely, extremely lucky the entire game throughout, but I haven't really seen it yet, except in case somebody lost connection when he was already like 1 point away from winning or so, then maybe the AI won. But winning really on their own terms, I haven't seen that yet. Oh, 9, very nice. That's just an amazing number. Yeah, that's why he's going to turn it into an 11 now. 6, that's not as good as it used to be, thanks to the robber. And he actually stole 2 cards from me through his trade master. Well, at least not a 7. That's all I cared about for this throw. Yeah, I'm in the lead, so I will pick yellow, I will pick green. Oh, and that's a super nice one, the mining. That. But I'm not yet there, I think not. Because I can't really trade all those bricks and those woods into anything useful for a settlement. So I can play the mining and obviously go for a city, but then it has sort of dried out because I'm not on a 3-1 board. If I were on a 3-1 board, the game would be over right now. But when it's like this, well, just for fun, let me take red road away. And yeah, I just need to wait 1 more turn. It's definitely going to be the last turn, I guess. I mean, I could use anything. Oh, I get a road building card and I get resources. Yeah, this should be done so. Because I especially have 2 grain in my hand, so even if a 7 rolls, I can basically throw away all those wooden bricks. And nobody's really challenging my longest road. And if someone was, I do have a road building in hand. Okay, somebody is challenging. Okay, that's his right, but nothing I worry about because of my road building. And yeah, that 5 definitely wraps up the game, guys. So yeah, he's not going to win. He's just playing around a little bit with his knights and trying to get the victory point. Anyway, guys, hope I hope you had an entertaining time watching yeah, us play, shall I say? But really, I had a very good start in this one with 5, 6s, and 9s, and the rest was basically just an exercise of perseverance more than anything else. But I really enjoy Cities&Knights for that exact same reason. It's just so versatile. You have so many different options. Even now at the end, I could have built a city, I could have built a settlement, I could have even, like, if I was really fancy about it, and I guess obnoxious is the right word, I could have angled for a blue metropolis. I wouldn't have made it this turn, but I probably would have made it next turn. Going for a blue metropolis, even though you don't have a single commodity and income, is sort of, yeah, well, how shall I say, a little bit gutsy, a little bit tricky, even one might say. I'm not a native English speaker, so please apologize for me actually not always getting the correct words. Alright then, have a nice time, see you later.